All right, we are now recording. Welcome, all you new pirates, to the Sport and Youth Programs Summer Orientation 2020. My name is Greg Korek. I'm the Associate Director of Programs at Campus Recreation and Wellness. We have today with us, we have our panelists, Hannah Roberts, our sport program specialist, John Wall, our Assistant Director of Sport and Youth Programs, Morgan Crank, one of our PAs for club sports, and Hannah Faber, one of our club sport executive council members. So welcome everyone today, and we'll kick it off. Our first slide here for today's session. If everyone could keep their microphones muted, and if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A box on the right. We have some staff that'll be monitoring that to answer your questions, either in text or we will answer them at the end of the session. Please note that all of your questions will be visible to everyone that you post. So intramural sports versus club sports, they're two very different avenues, but we keep them under one umbrella. We call it Sport and Youth Programs here at CRW. We will go through the specifics of those, but I know many of you may have questions about those as we go forward. So John Wall, do you want to hit this one?
Yeah, I definitely can do that. So a lot of times people will ask us what the big difference is between intramural sports and club sports. The biggest thing, and I'll let Hannah kind of talk about club sports here in a second. I'll just kind of talk about what intramurals is. And intramurals compared to clubs is a lot less competitive. Does not mean that there's not a competitive element to it. We normally have about 30 ejections per year. So, I mean, I know, Greg, you've never been ejected from a game, have you? I'm sure that's never happened. And definitely not the Hannahs or Morgan. But, you know, there is definitely a competitive element, but it is a lot more recreational. It's also not as big of a time commitment. Intramurals is actually within the walls is actually the Latin word. And so really it's just against the ECU community is students, faculty, and staff playing against each other. Typically, a normal season, you play 1 to 2 games per week. Our bigger sports play around five games regular season, and then including playoffs. It is at no additional cost to play these, and it's not typically they're not practices unless the teams want to practice. So intramural sports is not as big of a commitment. You can still play active. We still offer a lot of different sports. But then Hannah, I'll let you kind of touch on club sports and the difference between that.
Sweet. Yeah, so with club sports, really you can think about this as a little bit more competitive nature than intramural sports. A lot of our club sports, we have about 33, and we'll go through some of that information. But these sports actually travel around the nation, primarily within our region. So that could be from Virginia over to Alabama down to Florida or a little bit further. And they also play regional and national championships. Most of them have governing bodies. So it's definitely that club competitive environment. We do have some recreational clubs that are not necessarily competitive. Some of them might be, they might have that piece within their club dynamic, but some of them are strictly instructional, social, to have a good time, but it has a lot more structure than maybe intramural sports might be able to offer on occasion. So a lot of our club sports may practice between 6 to 15 hours per week. It could be between practice, meetings, events, community service. So there could be a 10 to 30 week commitment as well. That just means their seasons may start right when the academic year starts. It may end after academic year is ended, and so forth. You know, for example, our baseball club will play well past through May, normally outside of after graduation. And then also a last big fact is, unlike intramural sports, which is free because of the student fees, our club sports are completely student run. And so that means that they do run their own budgets, and with travel equipment, they do, most of them charge dues as low as maybe $25 a week, up into many others, but prices will vary.
For those of you who just got on, please feel free to ask any questions you may have. They're on the right side in the Q&A box. Please address them to all panelists so that we can see. answer any questions that you may have. John, you want to hit this slide here?
Yeah, so Intramurals, we actually try to make registration as easy as possible, and so we go through our online platform, which is IM Leagues. And so the majority of teams that are formed are typically friends, hallmates, classmates, and then you can actually register for a specific day. And so one thing we know about students is that everyone has different work schedules, everyone has different class schedules, and so what we try to do is provide different times, different divisions that could fit everyone's schedule. And so if you're interested in playing a specific sport, we offer different times throughout the day, as well as different days in order for you to sign up. And so we have a lot of people that sign up a team with their friends. We also have a free agent option, and that's for individuals that do not have necessarily a team or don't know someone playing. And then the captains can select from those free agents, and we also try to help the free agents find a team if they cannot do that. Once again, there's no additional cost to play intramural sports. And all you need is a one card. And one thing that we've done over the last 2 years is that we kind of changed. We actually have purple and gold divisions. And so, which is purple is recreational and gold is competitive. And so if you just want to, have fun, you don't really, want to get too serious in regards to, playing high level competition, then you can stay in the recreational. And then we also do have gold divisions as well. And then in our major sports, we actually allow you to play in both. And so if if you want to play on one team for recreationally and then one in a competitive division, you also have that. And so we offer men's, women's, co-rec, and fraternity and sorority divisions for the majority of our sports. All right, does anybody have any questions? So just remember, like Greg said, if you have any questions, please put those questions in the Q&A. And so I'm going to try this. This is our first time doing it, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to show you, these are our fall intramural sports. And one thing I will tell you as we move into the fall semester is that this is what we have typically done. Obviously, going into this semester, these are unprecedented times. And so these are things that we've done in the past. It doesn't necessarily mean that we will be able to do those this semester, but it also doesn't mean that we won't. Just wanted to clear that up, that there's no guarantee that these will be offered depending on the restrictions that we have, but we are hopeful that we will be able to offer some, if not all of these at some point during the semester. So our fall intramural sports, you guys can read through those. So some of those that you may not have played in high school. So flag football is pretty much non-contact football, where you just pull a flag instead of tackling somebody, even though we have had situations where people have tackled people before. And we have volleyball, extreme dodgeball, cornhole, spike ball, outdoor soccer, sand volleyball, softball, and then 4-on-4 basketball. So a lot of different fall sports. So just to kind of get some interaction from you attendees, I would like, if you guys look through that, put one of those sports that you're interested in, your favorite sport out of those sports listed that you are looking forward to playing in the fall. See if we can get some interaction here. Who's in charge of the Q&A box here, Greg? Is that you? All right, I'll give you a couple more seconds. Type in what your favorite in the Q&A box, what your out of those sports, which sport you're most interested in. All right, all right. Well, looks like maybe there's some confusion on Q&A. So we'll just keep moving forward. So those are some of our fall intramural sports. If you want to go to the next slide, Greg.
John, you got to scroll down a little bit there on the right. It'll pop up. We had sand volleyball, soccer, men's volleyball, flag football. So
there we go. Okay.
We do offer all of those.
Yeah, very nice. Okay. That's why Greg's in charge of Q&A, not me. All right. So we're gonna move to our spring intramural sports. And so we have 5-on-5 basketball. We have indoor soccer, which actually is played in Christian Berry Gym, which you guys will you'll find out once you're on campus where that is. Also, one of the favorites, if you want to take out some aggression, if you're mad at your roommate, you can play dodgeball. Also, we have 5-on-5 outdoor soccer, which is just a smaller version of the soccer that we offer in the fall. We also have 4-on-4 flag football, softball, which will work well, especially if we have to social distance. So we're hoping to be able to do that. We also offer golf doubles, which is at Bradford Creek, which is a couple miles away from our course. Sand volleyball is one of our biggest ones, and then also we have a beautiful disc golf course that we have as well. So we're definitely looking to offer these sports. And one thing I will mention as well, as we move into the next semester, if we're not able to offer some of these sports, we will look for opportunities to offer variations of these. So for example, like a hot shots tournament, 3-point challenge, football challenge, maybe modified rules for some of these in order to try to get these in with the current conditions. Gray, do we have any questions from the Q&A just before in regards to intramural before I go? Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right.
So Hannah, you want to hit this one?
Sure. I also might have Hannah and Morgan just chime in if I just to give a little student perspective after I just cover the basics of the bullet points. So with all that is from intramural sports, and we talked about the differences, like I said before, with club sports, we have about 33 active clubs. That number can fluctuate, whether it grows or maybe it gets a little smaller. As we've said before, it's completely student-led, student-managed. That means if the student wants this to be an organization on campus or a club on campus, they've got, you're the ones who make it happen. So that's definitely the biggest difference, is that this is the students' club, and that's what makes it really unique as well. We do provide some type of financial support, like John was getting at with the circumstances we might be in right now with at least fall 2020. We'll provide some financial support for them to still be able to program and do what they need. That's what makes us unique compared to regular student organizations on campus, as club sports are recognized by campus recreation and wellness. There are some benefits to that. Our clubs do charge moderate dues. We'll have contact information for our clubs. You can check out our website, but definitely reach out to some of those clubs or check out the Engage page to see what some of those dues are. Most clubs will practice on campus. We're able to provide, luckily for us, a number of facilities, but we can't provide everything. We do not have an ice hockey rink on campus, but there is one locally, luckily for us. So for our ice hockey club, our baseball club, club cheer, and a number of other clubs, will practice off campus, maybe locally or nearby within 45 minutes to an hour. Already covered it a little bit, but our clubs do travel throughout the region. I think that's a really cool benefit for our student organizations. Very similar to varsity athletics, you as students, you get to have fun with your sports, but you really get to represent the university at the same time. And I think that's something extremely unique, to be able to wear the pirate head or the ECU logo on the front of your jersey or your whatever you may be competing or recreating in. So that is another privilege with being a club sport. And then also with national travel and major tournaments. A really great example, Hannah Faber, who is part of the club swim team, and they can both attribute a couple of points with club sports, but they go to nationals every year. This past year, it would have been in Greensboro. And in past years, it's been at the Olympic, I believe, Center, the Olympic pool at Georgia Tech, right? So some really cool opportunities. Our women's club soccer team got to play at nationals in the open division and got a finalist, a second runner-up. So that's a really cool opportunity. All of our clubs can do that if they're able to, and we try to provide the resources as we can. Hannah first, and then Morgan, y'all want to add anything?
I would just like to add how much it has definitely helped me, especially coming in freshman year. I knew I still wanted to swim, but in general, if you still have like that inkling to still play the sport that you grew up playing, or want to get into something that maybe you didn't really try out in high school, or you played it in middle school and decided to take a break during high school, it definitely helps you kind of find people that are similar to you and have that competitive side and spirit inside them also.
Morgan?
And just like Hannah said, going off of that, not only does it give you a sense of finding like friendship and kind of finding your spot at school. In my case, it helped me find like I worked for the club sport program, so I found a job through it, as well as it's just given me a lot of room for growth, both being on my personal team as the president of my team, a lot of leadership skills, and working in the office and everything. You get so many connections that'll just take you really far in life and grow on and off the field. So it's a really unique opportunity. You get to do something that you love and also get a lot of other things from it as well. So
Cool. Thanks. All right. So I can cover this too, Greg. So how do you join a club? Well, you know, something really fun too. We have all kinds of clubs. You can look at the entire list online, but even if you don't have any experience, there's so many clubs you could just join to learn. From my personal experience, I never played rugby before, and when I was in college, I joined the club rugby team and got kind of good at it. So what's cool, you can try something brand new, and a lot of clubs may or may not have tryouts. So you can look at that information. We will be posting more information probably in the next month or so about tryouts, interest meetings, just to learn more about the club, and when our clubs plan to start each semester and when the season really begins, because they're all very different. But when in doubt, please email our clubs. They should be responding. If not, you can contact our club sports at ecu.edu directly to let us know, so we make sure that they get back to you. Their email is on our CRW website. You can also look them up on our Engage page for ECU. If you don't know what that is yet, you most likely will be learning about it in the very near future. But all of our clubs have an Engage page. But when in doubt, always email us to ask us any questions and we can help. We will have live virtual club recruiting events this summer. Our first one actually kicks off next Monday, which is our figure skating club. And I do believe we have a schedule that is on this PowerPoint too, if you're interested, if there is a club that is having one right now. All right, so as far as club sports commitment, just to expand on it a little bit more, this is a little bit more of a competitive structured nature environment. So there could be 6+ hours a week for practice, club meetings and so forth. There could be community service or any other types of campus events. There are some events that we may offer or require as part of the program. So that's something that we want to also be able, that you're cognizant. It's a little bit extra in your outside extracurricular activities. There are a lot of weekend competitions for most of our clubs. So they could be traveling 2 to 3 times a month. Some clubs may travel every Saturday. It could range from 1-day trips to 2-day trips, maybe 3-day trips. It really just depends. And it depends on the competitive nature and involvement of that club. And then lastly, just with dues, you could see 50 plus, maybe $50 a year, $50 a semester, and it could also go up to maybe $1,000 for our much heavier budgeted sports. And we like to tell everyone that with sports such as lacrosse and ice hockey, those high level equipment heavy type club sports, is just to be prepared for that. And a lot of these clubs have what those dues are. So definitely ask them. And if it's a club you want to join, it's a good time to start saving up and make sure it doesn't hurt your budget later on so that you can participate and be part of it. These are our current clubs. So we do have baseball, we have bass fishing, boxing, cheerleading. I won't go through all of them. Some unique ones. We are lucky to have a beautiful disc golf course. So we do have a disc golf club. They're actually pretty good. So is our club dance, being former national champions in the past couple of years. We've got our equestrian club. They travel off campus about 45 minutes away at a pretty local farm. If you've never done fencing before, that's a really, really cool sport. So maybe you might be able to check that out and join them. We have golf, figure skating, ice hockey. And lacrosse, martial arts. Our Kazana Indian dance was actually just renamed. This is just a mix of different Indian cultural dances. So it's something really cool to be able to learn and see what type of fusion that those styles have. Like we have rugby's, the ski snowboard. I know that probably seems really weird that we have ski and snowboard on Eastern North Carolina, but they do have some practices on land, and then they do actually travel to the mountains to compete. And surprisingly, we are very good, or pretty good for Eastern Carolinians that are ski snowboarders. We have ultimate, which Morgan's part of, swimming, Hannah's part of, and so forth.
We just added athletic training as a service last fall. So this will be our second year coming up. We do have 4 certified athletic trainers on staff, and they provide care to our intramural and club sport participants. We have them for all of our high-risk events, rugby, lacrosse, wrestling, and ice hockey. And then we also treat some of our intramural and informal recreation injuries. If you are interested in athletic training services, you have an injury, you want to get evaluated for free, you can come to the Student Rec Center here on main campus and get free treatments between 4 and 9. That's Monday through Friday. And we do have open hours, which are going to all be by appointment this year. Referrals to student health are provided. We have a medical director there who works closely with us to get in. He is a medical doctor who is actually the team doctor for our varsity athletics teams here as well. Off-campus physical therapists we have partnerships with, and then orthopedic care. So we have that unique opportunity here of a new service we added for the safety of our athletes, treating a lot of our games. So if you're interested in club sports, you'll most likely meet these trainers. And if you have any questions, please enter them in the box on the right, and we'd be happy to answer them as we go. We want to hit up a couple of our recruiting sessions that are upcoming. These are not actually all of them. We've added some since we updated this slide deck. Monday, June 22nd, we'll have a figure skating club, cheerleading club, women's club ultimates coming up on Tuesday the 23rd, and you can see the other times that are offered. So if you're interested in particular sports, you can get on Zoom with these clubs and see what they have to offer. All of those are available on the CRW website. Is that correct, Hannah?
That is correct. CRW website, and I believe eventually will be on our club sport page as well at some point.
Okay, great. Hannah did bring up a good question about physicals. So if you're interested in a club sport, we do require that all students get a physical, a pre-participation physical done before they come to campus. Those are available. Those forms are available on our website as well, correct, Hannah?
Yep. So if you go to the CRW website, find the club sports information and officer resources, that physical form that you'll want to print out and get to your licensed position wherever you may get your physical, that's the one you'll want to use, because those are the things that we'll be looking for to get your physical approved.
Great, thanks. Some other upcoming club sport recruiting sessions, you can see women's club rugby, we have club volleyball, men's club rugby, dance, wrestling, weightlifting, all of those coming up here in the next month or so. This is a great time to get some more information about the clubs. Nearly all of them will host a tryout or open practices right when we get back to campus. I'm looking to start those the first couple of weeks of classes. Hopefully everything will go well and we can make that happen here on campus in this very unique August coming up here at ECU. But this is the best way to get involved, to get with them early, to get to their tryouts and find out how to get more information about these clubs. We can tell you that some are going to be highly competitive. Like a dance club will have 110 people come out to their first tryout, whereas our men's club rugby team would love to have 110. That probably won't happen. But if you are interested in those sports, a lot of them are open membership, but some are definitely tryout based. So all of our recruitment sessions will be hosted on Zoom, and you can go to our website for registration links to go ahead and register for those and get more information about our clubs. As you know, practices and tryouts will come pretty quick when we get back to campus. Our other virtual orientation sessions for CRW coming up on July 1st and July 8th. You can see those. We have some fitness events, wellness, our overview of our department. We do take virtual tours of our facilities, so if you haven't been to campus, you have that opportunity to see what we have to offer at the Student Recreation Center. Please go to our website, crw.ecu.edu, find out more information. We do have an app that's available in the iOS store and with Google Play. You can download those apps and you can get that. I think it's ECU_CRW. You can look for it, or ECU Campus Recreation and Wellness, and find our app. Has all of our information about all of our programs and services, registration. You can download your digital ID to your phone as well, so you don't need to bring your one card, which we're really encouraging this semester. You'll no longer need that on campus. So that is the hope, that you can bring that with you, and a touchless entry is what we're hoping for. Does anybody have any questions? Please feel free to enter them there on the side. And we don't have any questions. Wait one more second.
Definitely don't be scared to like reach out and ask questions, whether it's after this meeting's over and you're sitting up thinking, wow, I want to play a cool sport or whatever. Like we're all here for you. This is a weird time, so you're not going to get necessarily as many opportunities to get out and see everything. So don't be afraid to reach out to us, whether it's through email or right now or whenever it is, to ask about intramurals or clubs or whatever you're thinking. Just yeah, just do it. It's a really, really cool, exciting opportunity to do either one. Intramurals are super fun. Being part of a club, like we said earlier, is also super fun. So definitely, if you're looking to get into something and you just don't know what, this is the place to be. There's so many different opportunities and so many different things. Like we literally have everything that you could possibly think of. One year we had inner tube water polo. Okay, tell me where else you're ever going to be able to do that. So just don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out. This is a weird virtual time, so use it to your advantage.
And you got people like Hannah and Morgan that are super friendly and will answer all your questions. So like you said, please don't hesitate, especially on the basis of intramurals and club sports. We're here to answer your questions and get you involved.
Thank you so much for attending this evening. We wish everyone, welcome to the Pirate Nation. Looking forward to seeing you here at the SRC in the fall. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you, guys.